It's complete chaos around here. Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland. It is June 21st of 2018. Thank you for joining us. Had a great meeting last night in Alexander City.
No, it's not June 21st. What's your name?
June 11th.
You live in the liar or what?
I got dyslexic. June 11th. Anyway, thank you for joining us. It is like it's chaos around here. Anyway, had a good meeting at the Free Methodist Church up there. Most of the people had never heard of the creation seminars and stuff like that, so it was really, thanks for having me, Pastor. And some of the other Methodists ought to have me. I used to go to a Methodist church as a kid.
Is it a free church?
Huh?
All church is free.
All church is free? Okay, this June 15th, this Friday, is Senior Day.
Dr. Hovind Day.
Senior moment. Okay, Senior Day. If you want to come, Freddie will be fixing lunch, and Freddie can cook. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, so free lunch. If you're 55 and older, you and your family get free lunch. Otherwise, go buy your own. Okay? But come on. But you can come for Senior Day. And then this June 25th through the 27th, I'll be at Path of Life Church in New York. Call Brad if you want details. I forgot to look at what city I'm in even. I just get on the plane and get off, and somebody takes me to where I'm going. And kind of like Columbus. You know, when he left, he didn't know where he was going. When he got there, he didn't know where he was. And when he got back, he did not know where he had been. A lot of people are like that in life, you know. Anyway, off-road day. If you have an ATV, bring it down, have fun. We're going to set up a trail through the woods and sand dunes here. And whoever can do the fastest time on the trail will get the prize if you survive the trail. So if you have a four-wheeler, a four-wheeler prize, motorcycle, it'd be different category, and age groups and stuff like that, some prizes. Okay. Several groups here for the tour today. Had a good time. You guys are going to try the rural flush after? You want to get dirty again? Flush them down the tube into the lake. Okay. Let's see. Austin volunteered from Huntsville. Where's Austin? Right there. Okay. Going to stay for a couple weeks. And Cindy grabbed him right away and said, I want him in landscaping.
He's mine.
And then when you're done, you do welding, right? We'll get you in. We got a bunch of projects there. Okay. Let's see. Tony, his whole family. Dominic, Julian, Jordan, Monica. All from Denver.
Yes.
Good to have you here, brother. Stay as long as you want. If you stay too long, though, we put you to work. That's just the way it goes around here. Okay, right?
They did actually help me today.
They did. Okay. Well, it's just a lot. It's so fun here, but it is a lot of work. Okay, we need some concrete dinosaurs. If you want to donate money for the T-shirt, contact Anna about that. 855 Julie. 855 Julie. 855 Big Dino. You got another job taking care of the T-shirts. Okay. Extension 1. We need a plumber, electrical, and some sheetrockers down here just for a day or two. Just come, spend some time, go fishing. Did you see the catfish, Freddie? They're like 3 or 4 pounders now. Yeah. Can't believe catfish. We were feeding the little brim we put in there, the bluegill, and a big old bass came in there, and they scattered. They're terrified of that big fella, you know. Whoa, I didn't know we had that guy in the lake, so some of you fishermen come down. Okay, I'm looking for more radio shows to do. If you know any radio shows in your area, have them call. Schedule a time. I'll be on there as a guest. Presidential pardon. Go to KentHovinDisInnocent.com and see what to do there with Brady. Now is the time to strike. They should not only pardon and overturn my case, they should do a complete investigation. Congress has the power to impeach those who abuse their authority. We'll be talking about that a little bit tonight. Yes, ma'am.
The T-shirts aren't for donation.
The T-shirts aren't for donation.
No, they're just $10 for the T-shirt.
Okay, because that's some kind of problem with the, okay, $10,
Just for the
buy the T-shirt, $10, okay,
Yeah.
just help us out. KentHovinDisInnocent.com, please do that and get everybody you know to do that, okay? This case is a classic example, as I'm going to share with you another case tonight, a classic example of why we have to take a stand on some things. Okay, you can bring a group here for summer camp. Need a solar panel expert to come down and hook solar panels on some of the cabins. Need a handyman for a couple of days, electrician, a plumber for 3 days. Definitely got to get one. Did you guys try the Zorb ball, try to roll across the water? You tried it? You didn't get very far?
We did not do rocks in the one stabbed me. It was hard.
It was hard.
The rocks are inside.
The rocks inside the Zorb ball? We don't want rocks inside. It'll poke a hole in it. Okay. No complaining. We do need one of these, though. 2 of these. Race across the lake. That'd be cool. 777 Club. Okay, Julie, you said there's a new way now. On the website, I think I got a button here. Let's see, right? Nick, did I put it in? Right there. Go to our website, Dr. Dino, and there's a Donate Now button on there for the 777 Club.
Yes,
you can join.
You can either donate to the ministry or you can donate to the 777 Club, the $1 a day.
Join the $1 a day to help us.
There's 2 different options
And thank you, a professed atheist, R.N. Nelson, who for the idea. It's a wonderful idea. And you're helping a lot of people go to heaven now with that great idea. So we're having a blast. So don't all scientists believe in evolution? Boy, I get this all the time. If you don't believe in evolution, you're not a scientist. Oh, really? Well, I want to share a couple things with you tonight. In the book of Nehemiah, fascinating book, I thought strongly about starting a whole Bible study just on Nehemiah. I love the book. Little short book in the Bible. Many, many lessons we can learn from Nehemiah. Next to the shortest man in the Bible, by the way, Nehemiah. Never mind. The shortest guy was Bildad the Shuhite. That'd be pretty short. Then I came to you'll get that about a week from now, okay? Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. See, Nehemiah was a captive, a slave in Syria, in Babylon, and then they were taken over by what today is the country of Iran, the Persian Empire, and he was the king's cupbearer. Bring the guy, something to drink when he wants something to drink. And he heard about his country, the wall being torn down around the city, and the people were poverty-stricken, and he said, man, I wish somebody would go back and fix that. Somebody ought to go fix the wall around the city. And the king saw him one day, and he was kind of sad. He said, Nehemiah, you've never been sad before. What's going on? And boy, he was scared then, because you don't want to offend the king, He prayed to the Lord, and he said, well, the city of Jerusalem is destroyed. I'd like to go back and fix it. King said, all right. So the king gave him letters to go. He said, you go over there and tell the people to supply pay for everything out of the king's treasury. Here's your credit card. So he came to the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. Bodyguard. Okay? When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it. Now the Ammonites are a group of folks that never should have been born. That's from Lot's incest with his daughter. The Ammonites. It grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. I'll show you how this ties in a minute here, but there are people that comment on my YouTube channel. Every time I schedule a meeting, like this guy in New York now is probably going to get 20 calls from probably the same atheist who's going to call himself 20 different names, and try to stop the meeting. They are desperate to stop me from speaking. Anything they can do on our YouTube channel, the comments they make, they're desperate to stop the creation message from going out. Sanballat and Tobiah were angry that Nehemiah had come to rebuild the wall around the city. In those days, every city had to have a wall around it. Today it wouldn't do any good with airplanes, but back then that was your defense. So all the cities had walls around them. Why would these guys be upset about somebody coming back to help the city? He was going to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. Well, because they were milking these people of Israel and had them in fear, and they thought of themselves as really high important people. You'll see in the book of Nehemiah when you read it. There are people who really think I am a threat to science. I'm not a threat to science. I'm a threat to evolution. And they think evolution is part of science. So there are people that hate me and comment about me and say, and do anything they can to stop me. Throw me in prison just because I want to seek the welfare of the children of America and of the world and teach them the truth. God made the world, and I'm sick of you guys using God's creatures, the dinosaurs, to teach your stupid religion of evolution. And it's a religion is all it is. And it's dumb. It's not true. But these guys got upset when they found out Nehemiah is come to help the children. Oh no. There goes our job security. And in process of time, in the book of Genesis chapter 4, we see a similar story. Process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. I've said for years, there are only two religions in the world, Cain and Abel. Cain brought his fruit, his vegetables. Hey, God, look what I did for you. You should accept me. And many religions are trying to get God to accept them because of what they do. Look, God, I went to church. I gave money. I got baptized. I got catechized or pasteurized or homogenized or circumcised or whatever it is. And you ought to accept me because of that. And that's not how you get to please God. So Cain brought his fruit, and God would not accept it. Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. God said, I'm not interested in your fruit and vegetables. You can't get blood out of a turnip, son. And the offering has to have blood to pay for your sin. Without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. Leviticus 17:11. And Cain was very wroth. It means angry. And his countenance fell. It means his face got, you could see the change in his face. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Now, I have to confess, in my nearly 50 years as a Christian, I've never completely understood what that meant. I think it means, hey, Cain, there's a lamb right over there by the door. You know you're supposed to bring a lamb, go get the lamb. That's the best I can do on that phrase. Sin lieth at the door. Anyway, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Why did Cain kill Abel? Have you ever thought about that? Why did he do that? Cain brought an offering to the Lord. Abel brought an offering to the Lord. God accepted Abel's offering. He rejected Cain, so Cain killed Abel. What a strange story. Why? Well, it tells us in the book of 1 John, near the end of the Bible. Go to the book of 1 John, chapter 3. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? In other words, why did he kill him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous. His works were evil? Yes. Bringing the wrong sacrifice to God is evil, according to 1 John 3. He tried to please God with his own works. That made God angry. You better come with a lamb, with a sacrifice. Without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sins. Anyway, marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. Why does the world hate Christians? Why do they hate creationists? I'll show you what happened to a teacher in Ohio in a minute here. I'm going to show you several cases that have happened. Why do they do this? Well, it's very simple. They are of the evil one. Cain was of the evil one. He slew because his own works were right. Cain was of the wicked one. That would be of the devil. He was full of the devil. Marvel not, they're going to hate you too. In John chapter 8, Jesus said, If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. Here's Jesus telling his people, the scoffers in his crowd, you guys want to kill me, because my words have no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. That would be the devil. Then they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus saith unto them, If ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth. They tried to kill Jesus just simply because he told the truth. You should see I got one atheist website one time. I've got all the comments. I copied them all before they deleted them. They were talking about how they could kill Kent Hovind. Should it be a .50 caliber? Should it be in front of a church while he's preaching? Should it be? Remember that one lady died? They're going through a whole list of ideas, of how we can kill Kent Hovind. I'm just teaching the truth. And I'm the nicest guy I've ever met. Right, Freddie? Yeah, okay. Oh. Which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham. You do the deeds of your father. Jesus telling his skeptics, you're doing the deeds of the devil. That's your real father. Then said they unto him, We be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. Jesus said unto them, If God were your Father, ye would love me. For I proceed forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he's a liar, and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Now, this is tonight. I'm going to tell an interesting story here, I think. And this is for you commenters that continually try to monopolize the channel. It's not your channel. After you've made 3 or 4 or 5 comments and you keep blabbing on and on, we're simply going to block you. Okay? We don't want you on our channel. Go get your own. Nick, very simple. It's simple to start a YouTube, and you'll even help them.
Yep.
Start an anti-Kent Hovind YouTube and see if you can get 85,000 subscribers, and go for it. It's fine.
Small donation here.
But they can't do that. They want to take over our channel. Sorry, not going to do it. Okay. Science Digest reported back in 1979, scientists who utterly reject evolution may be one of our fastest growing controversial minorities. Many of the scientists supporting this position hold impressive credentials in science. Wow, it's been a problem for nearly 40 years. Only 1/3 of scientists polled don't believe in God. Now, the skeptics will say all scientists believe in evolution and all scientists reject the idea of God creating the world. I'm sorry, you're wrong, okay? 76% of the 2,000 doctors surveyed said they believed in God. Whoa, what is this? University of Chicago, let me blow it up here. Researchers were equally enthusiastic about their survey. They found that 59% believed in an afterlife, 90% attended religious services, and 55% said their religious beliefs influenced how they practiced medicine. Whoa. All scientists do not believe in evolution, okay? Using a simple statistical approach, I would conservatively estimate that in the United States alone, there are around 10,000 practicing professional scientists who openly believe in 6-day recent creation. Whoa. Even if they did not, that's not how truth is established. You don't decide what's true by majority opinion. So if a bunch of scientists do believe in evolution, that doesn't make it true, okay? Secondly, history has shown that the majority can often be wrong. They used to teach a long time that everything goes around the earth, and some people are still trying to teach that, the geocentric theory. It's not true. It's a lie. It's wrong. We go around the sun, and that doesn't contradict anything in the Bible. Don't get me into that one. Okay. They used to teach big rocks fall faster than little rocks. That was taught for 2,000 years because Aristotle said it. He said if you drop a big rock and a little rock, the big rock will fall faster. Galileo came along with a question. He said, guys, if I took a 10-pound rock and a 5-pound rock and drop them off the Leaning Tower of Pisa, would they fall different speeds? He said, oh yeah, the 10-pound rock would fall faster. He said, what if I broke it in half and made 2 5-pound rocks out of it, but tied them together with a string and drop it? Would it fall like a 5-pound rock or a 10-pound rock? That simple question completely stumped him. Made him rethink everything. Like, we don't know. He said, I think we've taught something for 2,000 years that's wrong. I think everything falls the same speed. And he went up on the Leaning Tower and dropped off a cannonball and a BB, and they fell the same speed. It was wrong. You know, they used to teach if you're sick, you have bad blood. Take out your blood and you'll get better. That's wrong. That's how George Washington died. His doctors bled him twice. That's why the barber pole has the red stripe around it. If you had a headache, you'd say, oh, I got to get some blood taken out. You go to the barber and he'd cut your wrist and take some blood out. He had the razor blade. Now, George, when he was laying there sick, they cut his right wrist, drained out some blood, and then they cut the left wrist. They had to have to take it out of both sides, you know. They didn't understand circulation of the blood. Our own president, killed by his doctors, who thought they were doing the best modern medicine had to offer. And some of you evolutionists are thinking this is the best science has to offer. We know evolution is true, and I appreciate your zeal, but you're as dumb as George Washington's doctors. Okay? Evolution isn't true. It's wrong. Stop teaching that to the kids. In John chapter 7, they heard him say, when they heard this saying, they said, of a truth, this is the prophet. Others said, this is the Christ. But some said, shall Christ come out of Galilee? Hath not the scripture said that Christ cometh of the seed of David, of the town of Bethlehem? Remember, Jesus was born in Bethlehem, but he was raised up in Nazareth. So they're arguing, hey, this can't be the Messiah because he's from Nazareth. Hovind translation. They're arguing about the wrong subject. They're completely missing the point. He was from the town of Bethlehem. He just happened to be raised up in Nazareth. So there was a division among the people because of him, and some of them would have taken him. Here's Jesus teaching, and they knew he's claiming to be the Messiah, and they wanted to arrest him because they thought he came from Nazareth. They didn't understand. See, typical wisdom of the world. If you don't like what someone's teaching, eliminate them. Kill the messenger. That's why they put me in prison for 9 years. Check out KentHovind.com. Watch all those DVDs before you make a judgment on that one. Okay? Then came the officers to the chief priests and Pharisees, and they said unto them, Why have ye not brought him? The officers answered, Never man spake like this man. They sent somebody to arrest Jesus, and then came back and said, Why didn't you bring him? He said, Well, nobody ever talked like this guy. Professors sent their students to take the heretic, but did not go themselves. They used the law to silence those who disagree. This happens to me quite often when I go speak somewhere. A student will show up with a list of questions from his professor to ask me. Well, professor, why don't you come? Yet, what's that noise the chicken makes? Come on, I'm a nice guy. Had Q&A last night till pretty late, and so we have plenty of time for questions. But the Pharisees didn't go themselves. Oh no, they sent their lackeys to go do their job. Then answered them, the Pharisees, Are ye also deceived? So here these Pharisees sent their students to ask Jesus to take Jesus rather than go themselves. When they came back without him, the Pharisees said, What's the matter with you? Why didn't you bring him? Has he tricked you too? And that's what the teachers will do. They'll send their students, I'll answer their questions, they'll come back and say, We couldn't stump him. And the professors will say, Have you been deceived by this Hovind guy too? Are you stupid? Have any of the rulers of the Pharisees believed on him? And this is the same logic. None of the Pharisees believe Jesus, therefore he can't be right. Same logic the professors use. All scientists believe in evolution. All scientific journals, they don't publish creation articles. Oh, therefore, creation isn't true. You're doing exactly what they did in John chapter 7, and they don't see it, of course. Exactly the same thing. So, they will say, well, there are no articles supporting creation in science journals, therefore, it's not true. Well, first place, I doubt that's true about the science journals, but even if it is, it might mean there's strong censorship. How many pro-capitalist articles are published in North Korea right now? None. How many anti-communist articles are published in Soviet Union or China in the last 80 years? None. Is it because communism is so wonderful, or is it because there's censorship? Control the media. That's what communists have always said. One of their main goals is get control of the media. They said that back in 1848, Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. Get control of the media. Boy, they've done that years ago. Anyway, but this people who knoweth not the law are cursed. Hovind translation. We have knowledge. You don't. We don't approve of your degree. You're ignorant and you don't believe in evolution. And that's what they do with the same thing they're doing with me. Hovind's degree is from a non-accredited school. Okay, then call me Kent, call me Bubba, call me Hey You, and let's get back to the topic and quit with the rabbit trail. Okay, if you don't like the degree, I don't care. I don't like your degree either if you think it came from a rock, but that's okay. I won't mention that. Nicodemus saith unto them, he that came to Jesus by night, being one of them, Doth our law judge any man before it hear him, and know what he doeth? They answered and said unto him, Art thou also of Galilee? Search and look, out of Galilee ariseth no prophet. And every man went to his house. So they're all going to go back to their house and search their Bibles to see, could Jesus from Galilee possibly be the Messiah? And they're completely missing the point. He was raised in Galilee, but he was born in Bethlehem, Judah. He was the one. Even some non-believers like Nicodemus have enough sense to listen to reason and think about the other side. Go home and think about it. And a few of you evolutionists and atheists are thinking about, man, maybe my theory's wrong. And yes, it's wrong, okay? They started with a false assumption that Jesus was from Galilee. He wasn't, okay? Since the Pharisees had not believed on him, that was used as proof that he was not right. And they'll argue about creation. Has it published in any major science journals? Well, Hovind's never published in a major science journal, therefore it can't be true. That's their logic. Same thing they did with Jesus. Identical. The majority followed Aaron into rebellion in Exodus chapter 32. Remember that? While Moses is up getting the Ten Commandments, they rebelled. The majority voted not to go into the promised land. Cost them 40 years. The majority followed false gods many times in the Old Testament. Read the book of Judges. The majority of religious leaders hated Jesus. The majority of the world hates Christians. The majority voted Bill Clinton in twice. Duh, you talk about stupid. Man, and Obama. How on earth did we get that? Anyway, many thousands of scientists. And Michael, his is that a wife? Never mind, okay. Many thousands of scientists do believe in creation. Institute for Creation Research, Answers in Genesis, there are all kinds of scientists who believe in creation. Often they're afraid to be very vocal about it for fear of losing their jobs or grant money. Dr. Robert Gentry did a fabulous job writing on the topic of radio polonium halos. Where's his book? It's in here somewhere. He published in all the major science journals. He found polonium halos in granites from all over the world. When I was traveling around, I would get granite samples and send them to him. He's in Tennessee. He said, folks, these little halos are proof the granite was never molten. It was never liquid. And everybody was so excited about his research until somebody said, this goes against the Big Bang Theory. Because our theory says the Earth started off like a hot molten rock and cooled down, all the polonium would be dissipated. There would be no polonium halos. And they shut him off like a spigot. No more publishing. Lost his grant money. Can't do research anymore. Roger DeHart, science teacher in Burlington Edson High School near Seattle, was told he could not inform students of errors in the textbooks by passing out articles from current science journals. Think about that for 5 minutes. He was telling the students, hey, your book says this, however, here's a current science journal which says this is not true. They called him in and said, stop telling your students the textbook is wrong. Think about that for 5 minutes. This is no different than the Pharisees getting angry at Jesus for telling the truth and got to find some way to stop him. This is why Cain killed Abel. He didn't like the message. This is why they hated Jesus. They didn't like the message. Kevin Haley, biology teacher at Central Oregon Community College, lost his job for simply exposing errors in the textbooks. Hey, the textbook says the baby has gill slits. Sorry, that was proven wrong in 1874. Let's stop teaching that. I think it's about time, okay? Here's off the internet yesterday or today. Teacher fired for allegedly preaching creationism and having a Bible in class. Takes his battle to the Ohio Supreme Court. There was a teacher in Ohio who had a Bible sitting on his desk, his personal Bible, which you're allowed to do, and they didn't like it. Ohio court upholds the firing. He got fired from his job. The Supreme Court of Ohio upheld the school's firing of this guy. What happened to John Freshwater? Let's look at this story carefully. The numbers said that John Freshwater was the best 8th grade science teacher at Mount Vernon Middle School. His students often outperformed those taught by the school's 2 other science teachers. And Freshwater's evaluations were almost always positive in the 20-plus years he'd been at the school. 21 years he taught. On Tuesday, the Ohio Supreme Court ruled that Mount Vernon School Board was right to fire Freshwater in 2011 in a disagreement over how he expressed his Christianity. In a controversial case that has touched on the divide between free speech and the separation of church and state. By the way, some of your commenters are going to say, Hovind, we've got a right to comment on your website. It's free speech. Okay, so if I came into your bedroom and interrupt a conversation between you and your wife, do I have a right to free speech to come into your bedroom and interrupt a conversation? Or walk into your house and interrupt a conversation between you and your wife? No. This is our YouTube channel. We're commenting on creation. And if we don't like all you're trying to take over the channel, we're going to shut you off. No, you don't have free speech on this channel. Okay. Ohio's highest court ruled that Mount Vernon's officials were right in firing Freshwater for insubordination, for refusing to remove Christian materials from his classroom. Now, the way they word things is almost satanic. Watch what happened in reality with this case. Freshwater's First Amendment rights did not protect the display of these items. What items is he displaying in his class that they fired him over? Because they were not part of his exercise of his religion, the court said in a 4-3 decision. It was a real close decision. See, the atheists have worked for decades on getting atheist judges in position. They've worked to take over the court system. They've worked very hard to get anti-Christian bias in the federal and state and local court systems. Christians are busy singing in the pews, and reading their Bible, and the atheists they know they're a minority. probably 9%. But if they can get the high position jobs, they can change society. One man like Adolf Hitler can turn 55 million people in what they do, in their thinking process. Okay. The ruling added another legal chapter to an already voluminous legal struggle between Freshwater and the Mount Vernon City School District Board of Education. It began in 2007 when one student and his parents complained that Freshwater used a Tesla coil in class to make a mark on the student's arm. We have a Tesla coil out here. We don't have it hooked up yet. It shoots a spark out. You can let that spark hit you, okay? Zip. That's no big deal. It's revolting, okay? So the teacher had the student and put the Tesla coil, and he's a physics teacher, okay? You like stuff like that, Tesla coil. I got one right here. And it made an X on the student's arm, which made a slight red mark, which lasted a few hours and was gone. The parents complained, he burned a cross on my kid's arm. It's an X, lady, okay? X looks like a cross. Think about it. Anyway, Freshwater said the mark was an X. The boy's parents said the mark was a cross. They are so desperate to get rid of this teacher, and I'll show you why. The student's parents filed suit against the school, and a media bonanza got underway. Allegations were raised over Christian-tinted teachings by Freshwater. Now, why aren't there 10 million lawsuits raised over atheist-tinted teachings by teachers all over by pushing evolution, which is a religion? We got the shoe on the wrong foot here, folks, okay? Why is one student and his parents able to get a teacher fired for even hinting he might be a Christian? Well, then every teacher that expresses their religion of evolution should be fired, every one of them. Yeah. Including classroom videos on creationism and intelligent design. By the way, there is no law against doing this. And you teachers that are showing my videos in your class, keep it up. Don't ask, just do it. Don't ask, don't tell. Thousands of people have commented to us that they've seen my videos in their public school. Oh yeah, our teacher has your videos in our library. Yeah, public school libraries have these in there. Kids can check them out. Please, there's no law against it. And they know there's no law against it, so they can't cite any law against it. They just go after the individual teachers one by one that are doing it. Try to get them fired for something else. Because there's no law against teaching the Bible in public school. Never has been. Now, some schools have tried to make it mandatory to teach the Bible or mandatory to teach creation. Those always lose. Don't do that, okay? You can already teach the Bible. You can already show my videos in your class. Just do it. Don't ask. Just do it. Very simple, okay? But you folks that are teaching your religion of evolution, you're the ones that ought to be getting the lawsuits and getting fired from your job. Don't get me started on that. Anyway. Including classroom videos and intelligent design and dispensing of religious handouts to students. Religious handouts. What is he giving to the students? After testimony from more than 80 witnesses, which officials said generated more than 6,000 pages of transcript, what would a court case like that cost? Whew. In almost 2 years, the school board formally ended Freshwater's contract in 2011, citing his teaching that was skeptical of evolution. So if a teacher is skeptical of evolution, the school board's going to fire them. And his refusal to remove religious materials from his classroom. Look how they worded that. And I'll show you what he really did. His refusal to remove religious materials. The reason they finally fired him was because they called it insubordination. We told him to do this and he didn't do it, so we fired him. What did you tell him to do? You told him to remove religious materials. Oh, what was that exactly? Let's see this here. On request, Freshwater had removed many religious materials from his classroom, but refused to remove the personal Bible he kept on his desk. He also kept in the classroom a book on Christianity and an Oxford Bible he checked out from the school library, as well as a poster that the district itself had distributed to the teachers. So the school district gives out a poster to all the teachers. He puts it up on the wall in his classroom and gets fired for it. Which featured former President George Bush and former Secretary of State Colin Powell in prayer. You can't have a picture of the president praying in your classroom or we're going to fire you. This whole school board ought to be replaced with somebody with a brain, okay? There was a biblical quote on the poster. There's George Bush and Colin Powell praying with a Bible verse on there. Whoa, the sky is falling. Freshwater contested his firing in court unsuccessfully, including his latest appeal. In the majority's decision Tuesday, which was accompanied by an extraordinary dissent, in other words, one of the judges said, this is crazy. A dissent from one of the judges on this, 7-panel judge court. The Ohio Supreme Court ducked the responsibility of deciding whether Freshwater could teach creation in school. They didn't want to address that point because they know you can teach creation in school. They can't. That would have been overturned. You would think if somebody's got a brain. It merely affirmed the decision to fire Freshwater. All the Ohio court says is, yep, school board, you had the right to fire him. They did? Why? Insubordination. The judges said the school was wrong to ask him to remove a second personal Bible from his desk, citing the First Amendment and personal religious expression. But the poster and 2 religious books that he checked out of the school library, sitting on his desk, presented a much simpler issue. Hold it. You guys gave him the poster, he checked out 2 books from your library, and you're going to fire him because you asked him to remove them, and he said, no, I don't want to remove those. And that's grounds for firing in an Ohio school. The majority ruled in its single decisive paragraph on the firing. One single paragraph. Yep, school was right, you're fired. Freshwater admitted that he checked out the additional books only in order to make a point over this once this controversy began, the court said. His refusal to remove them was blatant insubordination. So they couldn't fire him for being a Christian. They couldn't fire him for teaching creation. They couldn't fire him for having a Bible on his desk. So they fired him for insubordination. You know, they couldn't lock me up for breaking any laws, so they found structuring. Right? What on earth is that? I never heard of it till they came and arrested me for it. So you're being arrested. I said, for what? For structuring. What is that? Watch KenHovinisInnocent.com, DVD number 3. If it hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't believe the story. But it happened to me. 9 years almost in prison. For what? They're no different than Cain killing Abel. Same thing. Anyway, Freshwater's attorney, Rita Dunway, told the Associated Press on Tuesday that she was disappointed with the decision, but didn't comment any further, because then they lose their job as a lawyer. The court's majority opinion was accompanied by a fiery, incredulous, sarcasm-laced dissent from Justice Paul Pfeiffer, who spared no disdain in blasting the majority's logic. The Mount Vernon School Board and the complaining students' parents. So this one judge wrote a dissent, very wisely. I'd like to meet you, Paul. Give me a call. Come on down. Take a tour at DAL. In a case bounding with arrogance and cowardice, the lead opinion fits right in. Pfeiffer wrote, arguing that the centerpiece of Freshwater's argument was the school district had been over the Bible on his desk, not the piddling other claims of supposed insubordination. They couldn't fire him for keeping a Bible on his desk, so they called it insubordination. This is evil at many levels, okay? Involving the library books and the poster. That's why they fired him. He wouldn't remove a poster that they gave him and library books he checked out of their own library. Teachers throughout the state should feel much less secure in their employment today, Pfeiffer wrote, arguing that the court had created a dangerous precedent by setting a very low bar for districts across the state firing a teacher in insubordination. Pfeiffer then attacked almost every component of the case against Freshwater on the poster in Freshwater's classroom. The poster was distributed by the school and was displayed in other teachers' rooms. Why didn't they ask them to take it down? You got the president praying. Why does that offend you so bad? Why would it offend people that somebody wants to build a wall around the city of Jerusalem? Why was Cain offended that Abel brought a lamb to offer to God? They're of the father, the devil. This is the only way to explain it. There is no evidence that Freshwater left the Powell Bush poster up because of its religious nature. On the library books, there's no documented complaint about the books and no specific order that they be removed. On the school board, he said, this case should be a cautionary tale for other school boards, a case study of what not to do. They have managed to divide a really nice community and cost the school board and or its insurance providers well over $1 million to free itself of a very good teacher. You spent $1 million to get rid of a good teacher. You guys are stupid morons, okay? I can't think of a kind word. Ball State University bans teaching intelligent design in science classes. Ball State University, you can't teach intelligent design? Now, the courts have never banned it, so individual schools sometimes do. Ball State University President Joe Anagora announced that the school would no longer teach intelligent design in science classes following a complaint. One complaint about the curriculum at the public university. In a statement released Wednesday, Gora said intelligent design and creation science do not qualify as science. Okay, Gora, listen carefully. I'll debate you anytime. Bring it on. Come on down. I'll come there in front of Ball State University. I'll take on the whole science faculty at half my brain tied behind my back. And that it would no longer be part of the university's class. Okay, Gora. Let's see, what's the name? Ann Gora. Ann? Ms. Gora. I'm sure it's a Ms. MS. Okay. Ms. Gora. Intelligent design is no longer, doesn't qualify as science. Okay, Ms. Gora, let me ask you a question. You're looking through a pile of gravel and you find an arrowhead. Okay, now watch this carefully. Try to follow this logic, okay? Your assignment, Anne, explain how the arrowhead came to be, but you cannot use intelligent design or it was created as part of your answer. Here's an arrowhead in a pile of gravel. You have to explain how it came to be. It's made of pure rock. I mean, it's nothing but rock. How did this get there? But you're not allowed to use intelligent design or it was created. Now, give me your answer, Anne and Ms. Gora. Do you see that's what they're doing? They're saying, kids, we have to explain life and we have to explain the world. We have to explain all these varieties of animals. We have to explain the stars. We've got to explain the world, but you can't use God as your answer. You've already eliminated the only logical answer. It is scientific to say somebody made the arrowhead. I don't know who, I don't know when, I don't know why. I suspect probably to shoot something with it. That would be my guess. But I don't have any idea who made that thing. But I think it'd be intelligent to say somebody made it. Duh. Now, if you want to search for who and when, that becomes a different story. But the first step is, yeah, somebody made it. Intelligent design is overwhelmingly deemed by the scientific community as religious belief. So is evolution a religious belief, Anne. It's a religious belief, admit it. And not a scientific theory. Evolution is not a scientific theory either, Ms. Gora. Evolution is a religion. Boy, this fires me up.
We can tell. I noticed.
Man. Therefore, intelligent design is not appropriate content for science courses. Evolution is not appropriate content for science courses either. Teach the kids the bones and the muscles and the anatomy and teach them the physics and the inverse square law. You could study all kinds of science and never mention evolution. Evolution has nothing to do with it. It's not helpful at all. It's a waste of classroom time. The statement responded to complaints from the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Did you know there's a Freedom from Religion Foundation whose goal is to get all the religion out of America? That Eric Hedden, assistant professor in physics, crossed the line by teaching intelligent design listen to this, in an honors science class called The Boundaries of Science. Here's a teacher teaching physics to a class about, hey, does science have any boundaries? Yeah, I think if you had to explain the arrowhead without a designer, you have now established a boundary that's unreasonable. You have to explain how this arrowhead got there, but you can't use a man as the answer. That's an unreasonable boundary for science. And Eric, thank you for doing what you did. Call me. Come down and visit. I'd like to meet you. The foundation claimed that Hedden may be teaching Christianity to students. Oh, he might be teaching Christianity. How many teachers are teaching evolution? How many teachers are teaching atheism? How many teachers are teaching homosexuality? Yeah, that's okay. No different than Cain killing Abel. Violating separation of church and state. It doesn't violate separation of church and state. You better read that carefully. Watch my video number 5 that I went to prison for if you want more on separation of church and state. The statement responded to complaints from Freedom from Religion Foundation that Hedden, he may be teaching Christianity. Wow, what a dangerous threat. BSU spokesman Joan Todd told Muncie Star Press that the school is monitoring his class to ensure that course content is aligned with the curriculum and best standards of the discipline. And they are probably monitoring me and CSE, looking for anything to shut Hovind up. And if they can't use the IRS or the FBI or the KGB, they'll maybe use a 30-06. They are desperate. That's what they did with Jesus, didn't it? Jerry Coyne, a professor of ecology and evolution at University of Chicago. And Jerry, anytime, I'll take on the whole University of Chicago, all the science teachers. I get half the time. We talk about one topic at a time. I'll come up there, take you all on the same time, sweetly, in Christian love. Okay? They praised Gora's statement. Jerry, you're a moron if you think what she did was right. Okay? Absolute moron. Okay? I count this perhaps a bit premature as a victory. No, it's not a victory at all. It's a defeat for anybody with a brain. Coyne wrote, and it would not have been possible if outsiders like the Freedom from Religion Foundation hadn't warned BSU what was going on. Oh, we had to warn them. Somebody's teaching that science might have boundaries in a science class supposed to teach about boundaries. The foundation also cheered Gora's statement. Well, then your whole foundation is stupid. However, BSU was criticized by intelligent design proponents like John West, senior fellow at the Seattle-based Discovery Institute. Incredibly, Gora insists that her university's commitment to academic freedom is unflinching, even while she imposes a gag order on science faculty who think there is evidence of intelligent design in nature. Go get 'em. West wrote in the Institute's blog, Memo to President Gora. Academic freedom was designed to protect dissenting and unpopular views among faculty. Yes, that should be protected. What they did, I could go all day on cases of people who've been fired. I'm going to quit right now before I get too fired up. I think there is certainly a prejudice against Christianity. They crucified a bunch of them. They, did all kinds of bad things in the first century, and it's coming again. There's coming a time of tribulation. They hate people like me. They hate people like you because, for the same reason Cain hated Abel, it's coming again. And they might, don't they kill them in other countries, in Muslim countries? Don't they just simply kill the Christians? Yeah. They can't tolerate dissent. They can't stand the idea that somebody is showing them to be wrong. Well, I'm sorry. Now, it's worth, we could go off on 10 rabbit trails here. Just teach the truth. All Jesus did is just went on teaching the truth. He was nice to everybody, healed people, fed the multitudes, and they hated him. All Abel did was bring the right sacrifice that God required, and Cain killed him for it. All Nehemiah is trying to do is build a wall to protect the citizens of his own town. You should read the book, all the ways they tried to stop him. They lied about him. They tried to bribe him. They tried to get him scared. They tried to put fear into his heart. I've had all that happen to me. We'll do Nehemiah sometime. Anyway, thank you for joining us. That's long enough. Nick, thank you so much. Push thumbs up. Hey, why don't each of you get on your Facebook page and notify all your Facebook followers to subscribe to Kent Hovind Official. We'd like to stir up a lot of trouble on our way out of here. So,
On our way out.
well, yeah, I'm not going to get out of this world alive anyway. I know that, so might as well stir up trouble on the way. It's going to have a blast. Okay, I think we got ice cream up at the house if you want to come join us. We do. A lot of it. Oh, who wants to help eat the ice cream? Say aye. Aye. Okay, good. All right. Thumbs up, share, and like us. If you want to join the 777, help us keep the message going out, please do. We need about 500 more to say, hey, I'll help. We're going to win souls regardless and get the gospel out. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. Bye.